Hi guys, welcome to Tekdgeek. Today I'm going to be going over the peak hosting dedicated Minecraft server service. So, I'm sure a lot of you guys have Minecraft servers, do stuff with servers in general. If you play Minecraft, if you found this video, you're probably, you know what Minecraft is. So, we're going to talk about servers today. So, I've used my own dedicated server, so just running on one of my old computers at home. I've done that. I've used Tree Puncher hosting, which was horrific. I've used Redstone host and a few others back when you could actually use prepaid cards on PayPal. But now I've actually moved on to Peak Hosting, and I actually found these guys when I was doing some work for local companies, because I do some generally low-endish coding, so I had to write a bit of a website for some people, and they do some online database stuff. And Peak Hosting was the best setup for them. So their servers are outstanding. Before we even get to the Minecraft part, their servers are great, and their Minecraft server side of things has gotten big enough that at this point they actually use some pretty substantial hardware to run their Minecraft servers. So because they use enterprise grade stuff with most of their enterprise web servers that have to run constantly. But since the Minecraft servers, in certain instances, require a bit more oomph, they actually moved on to using a significant portion of EVGA hardware for their Minecraft server hosting, and EVGA is awesome. I build with their PC parts all the time, and they've actually moved on to have a pretty extensive jar support. And although I know what I'm doing with Minecraft and doing server stuff in general. But the nice thing that they do is if you don't completely know what will and will not work, there's actually a lot in place without buying their services for that will help you make sure your server is set up properly. So I've already logged into my MultiCraft control panel. That's the control panel that Peak Hosting uses. So if you know what MultiCraft is, you're probably pretty familiar with it. If you don't, basically this is a front end that lets you easily interface with your server. So as opposed to having a pretty rudimentary terminal, SSH session with a Ubuntu server console, they give you this. So it's nice, it looks fluffy, and it works well. So let's just so this is the homepage. What you see here is this little green dot up here. That's saying the server's online, right? And then there's start, stop, and restart. I can rename the server at any time. Right now, this is a server that me and my friends are working on to try. We're just setting it up right now, getting everything secure and whatnot. So it's very small. It's actually the smallest server you can buy on Peak Hosting. It's actually it's $4 a month, so really, really affordable. So I have 12 players. I can see how many people are online. Now, one of the coolest things with this is you can select a server jar file here. Now, there were a few issues right before Minecraft 1.5.1 came out. I think everyone was kind of anticipating that, so the selection wasn't great. And then when Minecraft 1.5.1 came out, there was a bit of a delay for Peak Hosting to get there, specifically for the development bucket releases. But when they got there, and everything works great. So I do not want to be on Spigot. No. Let's see here. Craft buckets. So ironically enough, they just updated the jars right now. The previous bucket beta version I was running on actually disappeared. So, just to show you guys, I'm going to restart the server now. So that applies. So that's how fast they update them. The only problem I found with that is this: when they remove the jar you're using, and it usually kicks back, hopefully to the default. But actually, it's better if it kicks back to Spigot or one of those mods because they're based on bucket, and it works a lot better. There was one time when it kicked back to the default vanilla server and it was resetting for like 17 hours and no one could get on and we didn't know what was going on, but we fixed that. So, and then down here there's some pretty basic things. So, you see CPU usage, memory usage. Now, although you're probably like, how is the server even running with no RAM free? Ironically enough, the server runs generally with 100% RAM usage and there's no lag whatsoever, even when we actually loaded on 13 people to the server. So the scalability is great, the hardware is great, and then down here you can see connected players, and if I wanted to kick my friend Nick off the server, I could do that, but I don't want to do that because he's probably not doing anything bad. Now, the only one weird thing is there's actually a specific chat window here. It's not integrated with the console, and you can't actually do much. The console here This is pretty much only for server-side commands. You can see a list of players with their roles that don't really link to any permissions unless you use the Multicraft Permissions Manager, which is pretty bad. I wouldn't recommend using it, but just use PEX or something like that. Files. So you can get to your basic configuration files, server settings, just the basic stuff, and there's actually a built-in text editor that works fine for those. Now for the stuff that's more in-depth, bucket plugins, you can search through them here. There are actually quite a few common plugins that aren't present. I don't know why, but you can upload your own through the FTP manager. Hitting backup essentially just zips up the entire server, all of its files, and dumps it in the main directory of the server. And then under advanced, there's some commands that you can add your own commands if you really wanted to. I scheduled my server to reset every 24 hours. You can see your actual user list, and there's a MySQL database you can use with certain mods that just holds all the users. Now the coolest thing by far is the FTP File System. Now you can log in here, see all your files, open everything up, but the only issue is you have to get down to the exact file you want to open, and you can't download anything from here. You can rename stuff, move stuff, delete stuff. It's kind of slow, but it works fine. If you had to edit one little YML file, it would work fine. But if you want to download your backups to a secondary location, download the world file to do some cool 3D renderings in 3ds Max, Chunky, whatever you use, you have to do something else. So, cool thing here, you can see that it gives us all of the login information, and if any of you DDoS or try to brute force my FTP, it's not going to be cool, so don't give it a shot. So you see host, port, FTP username, all that. You don't know my password, you should. So, you can use FileZilla or any, really any FTP client to connect to your server. So, I have mine stored here, and look, so now we are in. So I can, I can drag my backup server to my PC. I can save down the world file to do some chunky renders. I can do all kinds of stuff. And the nice thing here is that I can edit my own text editor, so Notepad++ works great. And the great thing with FileZilla, and I'm sure a lot of other FTP clients do this, but with FileZilla, it will actually upload and replace the file you edited. And it does it all automatically, which makes it really easy. And the other thing is that, as opposed to using the sort of weird, convoluted editor that's built into MultiCraft, using a true text editor that doesn't screw up certain files is really nice. So, you guys are probably thinking like, well, let's see the server. How well does it actually work? So let me open up MineCraft here. Let it load up. Yep, and no one's on anymore. But we have logged in. Let me show you guys the spawn. And there's the beacon. Yeah, so this is a spawn. You can see everything is already loaded up. And although this, I think the mainframe I'm hosted on, it's in like a year. And so I'm a decent far. I'm not gonna tell you which state I live in. I'm not gonna do that. This is the internet. Let's be honest. But everything generally runs really well. We've been doing a lot of world edit stuff. Some really rather demanding block work, and everything's been working fine. I'm going to show you one of the bigger builds we're starting out of here. And most of the time we've been doing all that world edit craziness with 5 to 10 people on the server. So we've definitely loaded it down, and it's held very well. So this is one of the builds we have going. Essentially, like what we're trying to set up here are a system of settlements where people can come in and buy land. And if you guys are interested in joining this server once it's actually online, either comment below or send me a PM, that kind of thing. And I think the blog might be still online. We're kind of working on that right now. But yeah, this is the server. It's running great. And guys, I want to know what you guys think. So do you think peak hosting is worth it? Do you have something better that's less expensive? How many of you guys live in Europe or crazy places with Google Fiber that actually, has decent enough internet to host in your own rigs? So what do you think? Definitely leave a comment. And one hint I will give you as to where I'm accessing this from is my town will soon be getting Google Fiber. Unfortunately, when I go to college, that's just gonna change because I'm going to college. They don't have Google Fiber. But thanks for watching, guys. Check back for more Tekdgeek stuff soon, and peace.